Hi friends, I'm Mr. Ben. I invite you to keep calm and ukulele on. But before you can do that, the first basic things you have to learn are really the most important thing is how to tune the ukulele. And a lot of people don't talk about this step. They'll dive right into how to play it and what chords and all that kind of fun stuff. But they'll skip over that step of how to tune your ukulele. And it's something that takes a lot of practice. I can tell you what to do, but you really have to do it a bunch of times before it'll start to feel natural. So before we can even learn to tune the ukulele, we need to know the names of the strings. To help us with that, I have a mnemonic device. Good children eat apples. And this is also a good opportunity for you to just give your own ukulele a quick pluck on each of those strings to see if our ukuleles sound the same. Good children eat apples. If they don't sound the same, if the notes are totally different, don't worry about it yet. We're going to talk about that. But obviously, good children eat apples those are not the names of the strings. That's just the mnemonic device to help us remember. So the strings themselves are G, C, E, and A. As you probably know in music, notes are given letter names from A to G sharp. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, that's 7 notes, and then there are 5 notes that come in between. Those are the sharps and flats. So there are 12 notes total in music. That's it. That's all there are. 12 notes total in all of music. They go up and down in octaves, but it's sort of like having 7 colors and then just different shades of those colors to play with as we go up and down the octaves. But so from A to G sharp, but each one of the strings, that's why they have a letter name, is because that's the note that's being played. So this note is a G. If you walk over to a piano and play a G, it's going to sound just like this. If you play a C on a piano, it's going to sound like that. An E on a piano, and then an A on a piano. So those are the names. The easiest way to tune your ukulele is to get an electronic tuner, the kind that clips onto the headstock. Snark makes a good one, S-N-A-R-K. It's cheap, it's $15 or so. The truth is, any clip-on tuner that you order on Amazon or from your local guitar shop, whatever, they're all going to be pretty good. That didn't used to be the case. When I worked in retail forever ago, before the internet was a thing, you used to have to spend $50 to $80 to get a halfway decent tuner. And the kinds that clipped onto the headstock, only concert violinists could afford those. They were like $150. For any of my adult musicians that are watching this right now, do you guys remember? I think it was the IntelliTouch, or maybe it was IntelliTune. IntelliTouch, I think, but it was super expensive and only really fancy violinists had them. An occasional really fancy guitar player would have one. But now for $20, you can get a Snark, clip it on. The problem is if your ukulele is super far out of tune, you're going to go to tune your G string and the tuner won't show G. It'll show B or something, some other letter, because it'll be telling you, hey, that note you're playing isn't a G, it's a D, it's a C, it's a whatever. The tricky part is you have to figure whether you need to go up from whatever note you're at to get to G or down. 80% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, you're going to have to go up because the strings stretch over time. And as they stretch, the pitch goes down because the string gets looser. And so to retune it, you're going to have to turn the tuning peg clockwise, tightening it, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So tightening that tuning peg to tighten the string to make its pitch go up. 80% of the time, you're going to start by tuning upward until you get to your note. But if you grab that string and wiggle it a little bit, let's say, for example, you were tuning it without really knowing what you were doing, or if your child was just, tuning away just randomly, that string might already be too tight. So if you grab it and just sort of wiggle it back and forth like this, it should be relatively easy to sort of wiggle it back and forth. If it feels really tight, like a tightrope pulled between 2 static points, or like a steel cable holding, if it just hardly moves at all, then you probably shouldn't, or if it's really hard to turn that tuning peg, if you're starting to feel a lot of tension, probably don't tune it any higher and try going down. For everybody else, if you grab it and wiggle it and it feels really slack, or if you're just not sure, chances are you need to go up. So you're going to go up in pitch until your tuner says the note, G, C, E, or A, whichever string you're tuning. And then you're going to turn that tuning peg clockwise until you not only have the note reading that you want, so let's say the G, you're looking at a G on that tuner, and it'll start, there'll be a little dial, it'll start down here, and you want it to go right in the middle, and usually it'll turn green when that happens. You always want to start below the note and then tune up. So if you are one of those 10 or 20% of cases where your note is too high right now, you want to drop down below the note that you're trying to tune to and then tune back to the appropriate note. We can talk more about why that is later. For now, just take my word for it. If all that fails, the best thing to do is just tune to me. So right now my strings are G, C, E, and A. You can replay that as much as you need and just turn those tuning pegs until your notes sound fairly similar. Tuning's hard. Keep trying, keep going at it, and let me know in the comments below what else you need. This is going to be a work in progress, so I'm just going to be throwing content up. So know that this is not the end-all save-all. This probably won't even live here for too much longer. This is just sort of to try and get you started. So let me know, how did it go? Were you able to tune your ukulele based on what I just said, or is there other information that I need to be providing you that would be more helpful? We're in this together. Drop me a like, please subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment, and let me know what else you need to see. As always, I invite you to keep calm and ukulele on.